Miss Sharib, who was recently declared missing by her legal counsel, was reportedly found later in a hospital in Bakura, Zamfara State, in circumstances that are yet to be fully clarified. While her physical recovery remains a priority, the circumstances of her disappearance and event leading to her hospitalization raised serious concern about the state complicity in unlawful targeting of critics and misuse of power by the state. Ladies and gentlemen, while we do not yet have incontrovertible evidence to directly accuse the governor, the Sokoto state governor, who people believe was frustrating her ordeal, it is important to state that multiple reports and credible indicators point to the alleged state involvement in the ongoing intimidation, harassment, and silencing of Ms. Sharif. Such allegations must be taken seriously and investigated transparently by the relevant authorities. We will continue to pursue, advocate that authority take the relevant necessary action to protect her and other Nigerians that suffer similar abuses and attack from the state official.
So, okay. So I will take off where constitutional oath to uphold the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and govern in accordance with the rule of law and respect for human rights. The Constitution of Nigeria under Section 39, subsection 1 guarantees every Nigerian's right to freedom of expression, and Section 35 guarantees the right to personal liberty. These rights are not gifts from the government. They are entitlements under our Constitution and democratic system. It is worrisome that the police and the state magistrates are being used to maliciously prosecute this teenager for crying out against insecurity and bad governance in Sokoto State. It is important that the Inspector General of Police brings sanity in the way and manner the police are used to harass innocent citizens, while bandits and other criminals are on social media mocking and challenging the Nigerian security, but are not being dealt with accordingly. The case of Hamdiyyah Sidi Sharif is not isolated. During the End Bad Governance protest, 29 minors were unlawfully detained for participating in protests decrying Nigeria's worsening economic situation. And we all know what happened then. Months after civil society pressure, they were released. However, many remain in deplorable conditions without rehabilitation, psychosocial care support, or access to justice. In fact, even 3 days ago, Amnesty International had to pay for surgery for one of the boys that was shot in August in Jigawa State. This is despite the president's directive to investigate and prosecute the police officers behind the prosecution of these minors. Nothing till today has been done or said about this. We cannot continue to have a system that punishes the vulnerable while shielding the powerful ones. We salute the courage and effort by many organizations and individuals, and particularly the legal team of Hamdiyyah Sidi Sharif, led by Abba and Co., in saving her life and getting her out of the current quagmire she is facing. We urge all groups and individuals to intensify actions to protect this girl from the rapacious state elements. Thank you.
Yeah, we demand for the following. First, we demand for the immediate and unconditional release of Miss Hamdiyyah Sharif from contrived detention and be accorded full protection to enable her to enjoy our constitutional rights to freedom of movement, to freedom of expression, and that of personal liberty without fear of reprisal. We also call for an independent investigation into the circumstances surrounding her disappearance and the allegations of the state's complicits. Those responsible for any wrongdoing, regardless of their level, should and must be held to account. We also demand that the judiciary must act with courage and consistency in upholding the Constitution as it remains the last hope of every Nigerian, especially the vulnerable ones. Today, you will agree with us that hope is a dangerous thing for the average Nigerian citizen to have. It must not be crushed by the judiciary that bows to executive pressure or partisan interference in its duty. Number 4, we call on the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, and Madam Fatima Ahmed Aliyu, the wife of the Sokoto State Governor, and all women in public leadership and in position to rise to the occasion and protect the dignity of a fellow woman, a young lady at that. At a time when women's political participation and governance in Nigeria is an all-time low, silence in the face of injustice will only deepen the erosion of gender inclusion and equality. We are asking them to speak truth to power and uphold the rights of all women, regardless of their status in the society. We also call on the National Human Rights Commission, the National Assembly Committees on Women's Affairs, human rights groups, judiciary, and all other relevant bodies to immediately commence oversight and inquiry into this case and other like it across Nigeria at large. These will demonstrate their willingness to address injustice and save our country from global embarrassment and scandal. Number 6, we want to reaffirm our commitment to collective action and support to end violence against women in all forms and formats. Should this situation remain unresolved timely, to save this young girl's life, we will escalate advocacy to relevant international human rights bodies, including the United Nations Special Rapporteurs on Freedom of Expression, the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, diplomatic communities to take necessary action. We will also explore legal redress through the international mechanism, including International Criminal Court, if necessary. This country, Nigeria, belongs to every one of us, regardless of our age, our religious beliefs, our gender, rich or poor, whether we are leaders or followers. Nigeria belongs to us. And civic space must never at any time be a privilege available only to the powerful. You would agree with us that civic space is an essential commodity for any functioning democracy. It is a right that must be guaranteed to all citizens. We would not therefore fold our arms while Nigeria drifts into authoritarianism under the guise of protective regimes. We thank you very much for attending this.
Responsible for her conditions. I cannot understand a minor 19-year-old you did not see who to fight. Bandits are there challenging you, abusing you, attacking you. You did not see who to use energy to fight. It's only a 19-year-old. This is a shame. This is an embarrassment to even the security, operators. Anybody behind this should, go and rethink. You cannot be fighting a defenseless, harmless, a teenager who is not a criminal, somebody who wants you to do the right thing. As I am talking now, a lot of people are calling to give update on this. So before we round off, we will have the opportunity to hear further information on this matter. On Kekena in her village, taken to a village where she was injected with drugs. Later, she was abandoned in the bush in Bakura local government in Zamfara. She was found by a good Samaritan and eventually ended up in police station. After treatment in hospital, right now, the Commissioner of Police of Sokoto State is demanding she must be returned to him. We believe she was absolutely abducted by the state government syndicate to kill her. She must not be released to come to the Commissioner of Police in Sokoto, because from all indication, ladies and gentlemen, these people are determined to take the life of this girl. So please and please, we are urging, do you mind if I just put on speaker, because some people are calling to give this update. Hello, tremendous pressure to release her to the Sokoto State. The IG of police must take custody and responsibility to the for the life of this young woman. If anything happens to her, the Commissioner of Police Sokoto, aided by that of Zamfara, will be held responsible. So, ladies and gentlemen, this matter is getting out of hand. In fact, it's very ridiculous that you do not see anybody to fight. All the bandits that are challenging them, all the criminals, all the terrorists that are challenging them, they do not see who to use this energy, except this small girl, 19-year-old. Please and please, the media, we urge you, this thing can happen to any of you, can happen to any of your child sisters. You know, ladies and gentlemen, let's work together towards saving the life of this girl. Let's work toward calling the IG to take necessary action to caution both the Commissioner of Police in Sokoto and Zamfara. And that if they do not do the needful, we also urge the President to direct the IG to take necessary action to save these girls' lives.